In this video, I'm going to discuss negative exponents and exponents that are zero. All right. Now let's get one thing clear: what it means to have a negative exponent and what it means to have an exponent of zero are mathematicians decided on it. We just made it up. We defined it to be something that made sense. All right. It's not like God told us what it means. Okay. So let's think about what would make sense, and that's going to motivate the way that it turns out that people do define it. Okay, so for the negative case, let's first remember that we have something called the quotient rule, and I'll write it on the right side. And it says that for quotients, we want to subtract the exponents, right? Now, let me write, suppose that I had 4 to the 8 divided by 4 to the 11. Now, the exponent rule says that that would equal 4 to the 8 minus 11, or 4 to the minus 3. So apparently a negative exponent it would make sense to define it in such a way that it's equal to this original fraction. Okay? If we simplified that fraction, we would cancel 8 fours from the top and we would cancel 8 fours from the bottom. So at the end of the day, we'd have 4 fours on top, or 4 cubed. All right? So notice that we started with 4 to the minus 3, and notice we ended up with 4 to the positive 3. However, the 4 to the positive 3 was downstairs. It was in the denominator, wasn't it? Okay, so the suggestion somebody must have made in the past was the following. Let's do this. Let's take, when we have a number to a negative exponent, let's set that equal to 1 over that same number to a positive exponent. See that? Okay, so if you want to get rid of the negative exponent, what you do is you put it below 1, you make it a denominator, and then you're allowed to make change the exponent to be positive. All right, so a few more examples if that wasn't clear. So I'll do it on the left here. So 2 to the minus 2 is 1 over 2 squared, or a fourth. Okay. 8 to the minus 4 is 1 over 8 to the 4. Okay. Now let's do the zero exponent. Let's see, how are we going to make sense of that one? Okay. So going back to the quotient rule again, suppose that I had 4 to the 3 over 4 to the 3. The quotient rule says that's 3 minus 3, so that's 4 to the 0. Okay. However, what is anything divided by itself besides 0? Isn't that equal to 1? Okay, so apparently a good idea would be that we set 4 to the 0 equal to 1. And this argument will work for any number besides 4 except 0. So some mathematician in the past said, hey, you know what? Whenever we have a number to the 0 power, we should define it to be 1. Okay? Now, when you have lots of different powers in a problem, you can, of course, use all of these rules. Let me show you what I mean. So if we had a situation like, if we had 2 to the minus 3 multiplied by 5 to the 0 multiplied by 2 to the 2, all raised to the third power. Okay, so this is an example of how you can use lots of exponent rules to simplify an expression. So first, for this one, what I would do is I would distribute the exponent of 3. So 2 to the minus 3 cubed times 5 to the 0 cubed times 2 squared cubed. Okay? Then let's go ahead and now we also have our, so that was the, you might call that the distributing rule, I don't know. We also have a rule for nested exponents. So let's, when you have stacks of exponents, we know that we multiply. So let's simplify each of the 3 situations. So 2 to the minus 6 times 5, 0 times 3 is 0. 2 to the, so 2 to the 6. Okay, now what we use is, well, we know that anything to the 0 power is 1, so we can ignore that. And now we use when we use the multiplication rule. So this is 2 to the 6 plus minus 6, which gives 2 to the 0. And anything to the 0 is 1. So this whole mess, the whole purple problem, that whole mess basically simplifies down to 1. Okay? Wait a minute, hold on. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. If it, 3 times 3 is minus 9, so I have to put a minus 9 here. If that was if this minus 9 was a minus 6, it would simplify to 1. So minus 6. So we'll get, this will give us an opportunity to use yet another quotient rule, yet another exponent rule. So minus 9 plus 6 is 2 to the minus 3. Yes, now we could use the negative exponent rule. So this is 1 over 2 cubed, which is 1. So the whole thing simplifies to 1/8.